Today I have a really fun, crafty kind of DIY video to show you guys, and it's going to be all about how to, the sun is coming out, it's going to be all about how to make these t-shirt scarves like the one I'm wearing. I think if you watched my first video, I was wearing this scarf. So this one is of varying lengths, and then the first one we're going to start out with is this one right here, where all the little strands are basically the same length. This one's a little bit easier to do, so I'm going to start with this one, and then we will move on to this guy. Not that he is hard, but it just is a little bit more time consuming. So for both of these scarves, all you're going to need is an old t-shirt and a pair of scissors. But there are a couple kind of rules that you need to follow when you are looking for your t-shirts. First off, you want a basically plain t-shirt. The main part of the t-shirt that you're going to be using is the body down here. And you don't want any print or anything on the front or the back because, I don't know, maybe you do. If you do, that's okay. But I wanted like a plain, just solid color, so I didn't pick anything with any print on it. And also, the second thing that's important is you need to make sure that your t-shirt doesn't have any side seams. Usually if you use like a men's t-shirt, they don't have side seams. Women's usually do because they have like a little bit of shaping to them. So you need to make sure that there's no seams on the sides of your t-shirts, because then it would show up and it's just not a cute look, unless you like that kind of thing. But for me, I didn't like the way it looked with the seams. So basic t-shirt, I went to the Goodwill yesterday and picked up a couple of them. They might be a little bit wrinkly because they just came out of the washer and dryer, because stuff that I get at thrift stores grosses me out a little bit, so I just gave them a quick wash. And yeah, so let's change camera angles and I will show you how to make both of these scarves. So we're going to start off with the black one right here, which I'm going to do with this green t-shirt. Okay, to make this first scarf, you're going to lay your t-shirt out on a flat surface and get it as smooth as possible. And you're going to cut off the top of the t-shirt from the underarm all the way across to the other side. Just a straight line, straight as you can. And you're going to get rid of this part because we don't need it. See you later. Now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to cut off the bottom of the shirt. So the hem right here, we're going to just cut straight across because we don't need that either. Okay, so now what you have is a tube of fabric, and there should be no seams. Like I said, you need a shirt without side seams. So make your tube lay as flat as possible on the table. As flat as possible. Okay, now you're going to take the bottom of the tube and fold it up toward the top and leave at least an inch at the top. Nice and smooth. Take your scissors and we're going to cut strips up to this fold right here. So starting on one side, and I like to cut mine about an inch wide, but you can do it as wide or as narrow as you want. So just cut straight lines up until you get to this fold right here. Cut through that fold and then stop. Remember, you want to leave that inch right there all alone. So just keep going, making yours strips relatively about the same size. Cutting straight up. And if your cuts get a little wonky, it's okay, it's still going to work. Snip through that fold, just like that. I'm going to finish cutting all of these strips and I'll come back and show you the next step. Okay, so now I've cut all of my strips. They're all relatively about the same length. You can unfold your t-shirt. And now what you're going to do is take each one of these long strips and you're going to open it up and you're going to pull, and that's going to turn it into that tube. So it's going to be pulling and it's going to turn itself into that tube. So just keep going all the way around each loop. And then go to the next one. Give it a tug. All the way around. Find the next one. Give it a tug. And you're just going to keep going like that, tugging each loop and that's going to make those long strands. So I'm going to finish pulling all of these, and I will be back to show you what it looks like. So now you should have something that looks like this. We've tugged on all of our loops to turn them into those little tubes, and that little section at the top that we didn't cut, that is going to be what keeps this scarf together. So you can gather it all up, like open up the tube again. So there's your finished scarf. I'm going to insert a picture right here of what it looks like when I'm wearing it. And you can see this one's pretty long. I think this was a men's large. Let me check the tag. This is, yes, a men's large shirt. So you can make these shorter or longer just depending on what size shirt you buy. Obviously a smaller shirt means it's not going to be as long. You could do this with like children's shirts if you wanted like a little short one, more of like a necklace kind of thing. But I kind of like the long ones because they're kind of drapey and cool. Yeah, so that is the first scarf. Now I'm going to show you how to make the second one. So I've laid out my shirt flat on the table, and this scarf starts the exact same way as the first one. So I'm going to cut across from armpit to armpit, and then I'm going to cut the hem off. But I'm going to save the hem because we need it for the next part. So again, starting at one side and going across to the other, just going to cut all the way across. Now we're going to cut off the hem of the shirt, but like I said, we need this part, so save it because we need it for the end. So I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to come back and show you. So now we have our tube of fabric and our hem, and we're going to save this for later, so just hold that off to the side. And we're going to do a very similar thing to last time, but this time we're going to fold all the way up to the top and line up your sides. Make sure everything's nice and straight. And this time we're going to cut, again, strips, but we're going to cut all the way to the end. So we're cutting chunks off. We're not going to keep anything attached. So I'm going to start on one end and leave about an inch and cut all the way up to the top and cut through all the layers all the way to the end. So we have a little separate piece just like that. I'm going to finish cutting the rest of the shirt into strips, and I will come back and show you the next step. Okay, so now we've cut our tube into individual strips, and we're going to do just like before, where we opened them up, do each one separately, and pull on them to make those tubes. So just do that for each one. It's a pretty quick process. This is the fun part too. I like pulling on them. So just give them all a tug. I'm going to finish pulling on all of these, and I will be right back. Okay, so now we have all of our little loops, and this is the part where you're going to need to start trying them on. So you're going to take one loop and try it on yourself and see how long it is. I don't know if you can see this on me. See how long it is, and see how long you want the longest one and how long you want the shortest one to be. So I'm going to leave a couple at the longest length, and I'm not going to do anything to them. But some of the shorter ones, you're just going to try it on, see how short you want it to be, just like that. And then just kind of tie a knot at the top. Nice and tight. So this one is going to be a little bit shorter than the rest of them, like that. And then you're just going to give this a snip with your scissors and cut off the extra like that. So there's the longest loop, there's the shortest loop. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to cut all the rest of them at varying lengths in between these two. I'm going to make some about the same length as this one, some I'm going to leave the same longer length as that one. So just kind of lay them out one at a time and kind of just layer them however long you want them to be. Tie a knot, just a quick little overhand knot. And trim off the excess. I think this is easiest to do just laying them out on a table or somewhere flat so you can kind of see what you're working with. So I'm going to finish doing all of these, cutting them all at varying lengths, and I'll be back to show you the next part, how we're going to tie it all together. So we're going to take the hem, we're going to cut it open, and you're going to start wrapping around all of the knots. So I'm going to start here and just kind of tie a quick little knot to keep this in place, like that. And then I'm going to start wrapping around all of these just like that to hide up, to cover up all the knots and to hide them. So you want to do this kind of tight and overlapping. Just go around. So once you near the end and you've covered up all of your knots, you're going to take the end of your little piece and you're going to tuck it underneath the last wrap, like that. Pull it tight. It doesn't have to look perfect because no one's really going to see this. So like that. And then I'm just going to go and tuck it underneath some of these guys. So I'm going to put a picture of what it looks like wearing it right here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, let me know. Give me a thumbs up or write a nice little comment in the comment box below. That would be awesome. If you want to get updates about when new videos of mine come out, you can hit the subscribe button right above. And if you have any ideas for future videos, again, let me know. I'd be happy to hear them because I want to make videos that you guys want to see. So yeah, that's it. And if you do make one of these, send me a picture because I'd really like to see it. And I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye!